Hello there. I'm Veena, a resilient and growth coach that helps individuals and organizations tap into their innate well being and infinite potential. Through my social media presence, I would like to share plenty of insights, tips, inspiring stories, and whatever else that can help us become better versions of ourselves. Thank you for taking time to hear what I have to share with you in this medium. In this podcast, I'd like to share a story which is a message for us at many levels. So let's get started. Picture this. Once upon a time, on a robust tree, there lived two birds. They were seemingly inseparable, perched on this tree day in and day out. One bird loved to feast on the fruits from the lower branches, relishing each bite. The other bird, however, chose to sit on a higher branch, silently observing without partaking in the feast. This observer bird radiated a golden hue, a light that seemed to separate it from the world below. Now, one day, the feasting bird experienced something unusual. It bit into a fruit that was so bitter it couldn't help but spit it out. Disgusted and disheartened, it decided to join its companion on the higher branch, hoping to avoid any more distasteful encounters. As it perched on the higher branch, a realization dawned. The other bird, the radiant, observing one, was its own reflection, its true self. It had been there all along, observing from a higher plane, unaffected by the delights and disappointments of the lower branches. This story offers us an intriguing metaphor for our own lives. Just like the bird, we sometimes struggle with an identity crisis. We become tangled up in the material world, becoming servants to our senses rather than letting them serve us. And in doing so, we lose sight of our higher self. This higher self is the embodiment of wisdom, clarity, and light. By releasing our fixation on the lower branches, our status, our possessions, our problems, we can ascend to this higher plane. We can be the radiant bird, observing rather than indulging, maintaining our calm despite the chaos below. Now, you may be asking, how does this help me in my everyday life? Fair question. This higher self, this radiant bird, can be seen as your inner consciousness, unaffected by external circumstances. It is a source of wisdom, a beacon of clarity. The bird that acted on whim was acting based on what was coming in its mind. The second bird is the consciousness. In reality, there is no second bird. The consciousness is within us and is always watching, always observing. Pure consciousness is already perfect and does not need anything to be added or removed. When you identify with this higher self, you can look at life's challenges from a different perspective. You see beyond the unnecessary noise and confusion, tapping into a wisdom that enables you to navigate life with less fear and more courage. On the other hand, if you identify yourself with the bird on the lower branch, that is, identify yourself with the mind, you are likely to be the slave of your emotions, of your senses. The comparison is clarity, peace, and calm versus chaos, turmoil, and suffering. Realizing that you are more than the labels and limitations you have placed upon yourself opens up a world of possibilities. It's like soaring to a higher branch, gaining a clearer, wider view of the world. So ask yourself today, which plane are you operating from? Are you lost among the lower branches or perched on the higher ones, surveying the world with wisdom and calm? Remember, the higher your branch, the clearer your view. That's it for today's episode, folks. Thank you for joining me on this journey towards higher planes of existence. Until next time, keep soaring.